What rules? I'm thanking my patrons before the video. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It is so important to have that community of other people who give you the kind of grace that we don't get out in the real world,
Oh, yeah.
you know? And that's really not only empowering, but it can really reframe how we see ourselves in the world.
Right.
Hey, Michelle, thank you for joining me for ADHD is the New Black. How are you today, sis?
I am awesome, sis. Thanks for having me.
Nice. You look pretty. Love the red lipstick. You're always rocking that.
Oh, thank you, girl.
Anyway, focus. We have ADHD. Focus. All right. Michelle, I just want to talk with you today about your work with ADA, the Attention Deficit Association.
I've been on the board of directors now for about 2 years. Mm-hmm. And what ADA is it is the #1 association for adults with ADHD who want to live their best life. And that's our whole goal, is we are committed to helping adults live their best life, because most of the ADHD resources you hear about are for children.
When I first started treating my ADHD about 3 years ago, and I was online looking for resources, I remember there were really only 2 organizations that jumped out at me, CHAD, but also ADA, which was so different in that I felt like ADA really had a lot of emphasis on women, and especially women of color with ADHD. Is that something that you have been championing?
Absolutely. So Dwayne Gordon is the president, and he was very determined that we represent diversity at ADA, because he knew that there were lots of other people that had it, and it's been looked at as a disorder for young white boys. I saw in the newsletter they were looking for stories, and for the first time they were offering to interview people. And I won't write my story, but I'll happily talk it. My story is not the typical story. My story isn't, I was told I was stupid. I wasn't. I know that lots of people were. I was identified as highly gifted and was told that there was nothing that I couldn't do, and was given every opportunity to do that. And instead of going to college and, I was in Who's Who and among American high school students, I was in the National Merit Scholarship. I decided to get married because I hated school, because I felt like I was failing at it. I didn't feel like I liked it anymore. It wasn't interesting to me anymore. And so I just decided to get married instead. So I told that story. And through that story, they got me involved in this project called the First 90 Days, which is a course that's designed to help adults make it through the first 90 days after a diagnosis. Because when you get diagnosed, you're in kind of this state of shock, really. A lot of adults are. I know you mentioned that, right? You actually got diagnosed and then forgot you got diagnosed. And then some years later, you remembered, and it was like, oh my God, I remember that now. So yeah, I was 46. So that's what happened. And after I got involved, ADA had all these webinars that they have webinars by all of the top experts in ADHD. Every single expert that's an expert has been on a webinar at ADA. And so we saw, okay, how could we take this and help people really get through their first 90 days? So that's how I got involved. And now I'm involved in taking all of the webinars that we have and all the content that we have and making it ADHD friendly and getting it out there to people so that they can actually be helped by the information.
That is fantastic. I know that for myself, the first 90 days after remembering my diagnosis, I was so determined that I wasn't going to live another day the way I had been living. I'm like, okay, I must be ready to receive this diagnosis now, 20 years later. And so I really just dug in and was trying to figure out, how can I improve my life? How can I improve my functioning? How can I just improve my way of existing in the world? And ADA had so many wonderful resources that really helped me with that. I am passionate about it. I am compelled to get more involved with ADA as far as attending the groups, the support meetings, which you have something for everybody.
We have 25 support groups. They're called virtual peer support groups. And one of the things ADA is known for is the sense of community that we bring. And, we do a conference with Chad and with ADHD Coaches Organization every year, International Conference on ADHD. And one of the things that everybody has said is when they go to the conference, it's like this old home week. Like you feel like, oh my God, I'm back home. I'm with my people, right? And so what Dwayne decided he wanted, he said, I want to reproduce this feeling away from the conference. And so they implemented these groups, these virtual support peer groups. And so the first group was a beginners group, and then it expanded into other groups. We have groups from women over 50, retirees, non-ADHD partners. So, we have groups for people that don't have ADHD, but they live with somebody that does. Because Lord knows they need support, right? Trying to live with us. We have African American international group. We've got women. We've got an LGBTQIA group, and I'm on one. There's a group, the High IQ ADHD group. That group gets so many messages every single day because they want to talk to each other, like they've become each other's families. People send all kinds of messages to the group when they're having a bad day, when they've done something dumb at work, when they've forgotten to do something, they're procrastinating. They will send a message to the group. Help me, I'm procrastinating. We've also got groups on accountability. So if you have something you need to get done, you can go to the accountability group, okay? And they'll make sure that you get it done. Then you show up every week. We've got the freelancers group. So there's a group for pretty much anything you'd ever want to do. Young adults, the young adults have a really popular group. So they have to be at least 18. And they have a couple of groups that they do. And actually we're bringing online now our own social network, and it's called ADA Social. The groups wanted to be able to interact. And so we thought, okay, well, let's create a space for all of our members to be able to have their own groups within ADA. So it's our own social network, and it's called ADA Social. It'll be like a little neighborhood, right? A little neighborhood of all the groups. So that's part of what we do that I think that other people don't do, or they don't realize that we have.
Well, it just sounds like ADA has so many wonderful, positive things going on that I think everybody should know about. Not just my subscribers, but everybody who has ADHD, especially adults.
Right. No, that was the thing that was such a, it's you could feel all the tension go out of your shoulders when you're around people at ADA, because they understand that maybe you forgot that you were supposed to be at the meeting. And then literally, I have known that 10 minutes I need to be at a meeting, and I'll get distracted or I'll get hyper focused on something, and I look up and it's 3 hours later, like, oops.
Yeah.
I did though. ADA has a new format that we're rolling out for virtual learning, and it's called a Spark, Decoding Doing.